Let's talk about two little words that relate to parabolas, a focus and a directrix. A focus and a directrix are two parts that we normally don't graph when we're graphing parabolas, but they relate to our graph in a way that if we're given these two things, we can write out our equation. So that's what we want to look at just briefly. Your focus is a point that's inside the parabola and it's equidistant from your vertex as your directrix. So your directrix is a line. Again, we normally don't graph these because it's kind of imaginary, but it always exists with our parabola if we need it. So directrix is a line. Let me write that in here. That I have in red. Your focus is the little dot that I have right there in green. And what's important about each of them is they are the same distance to your vertex. And any point on your parabola is the same distance from the focus and the directrix. So for example, if I pick a random point right there, just for example, the distance to the focus is equal to the distance to the directrix, minus the fact that I don't have graph paper right here. So it normally would look a little better than that. But imagine that those two distances are equivalent. And that would be for any point on the parabola. So imagine again that my drawing is a little more accurate. So over here it can also be facing downwards, but the same points are over here. It's just facing down. So that's my focus. Let's see, this is my directrix. And again, any point on the parabola would be equidistant from the directrix and the focus. But let's look at what we need to see on the next slide. We're going to use a given focus and directrix to find the vertex of the parabola. And then to find A, because we need to know how wide or narrow our graph is, we're going to use this little formula. The absolute value of A is equal to 1 over 4C. And C, in this case, is the distance from the vertex to the focus or the directrix to the vertex, because those are the same value. So let's look at two examples. Okay, so given a focus and a directrix, how do we write an equation of our parabola? That's what we're working on. So I've set it up. For this first example, the focus is at 1, 2. So I plotted my point at 1, 2. That's my focus. So I'm going to put it in green like it was on the first board. Color coordinate it. My directrix is at y equals -4. So that's a horizontal line at y equals -4. So I've already drawn that. You can sketch it on your paper. To find the vertex, you have to go halfway between. The vertex is the midpoint between the focus and the directrix. So if you simply count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there are 6 units between these two. So I need to go 1, 2, 3 up, and it's directly in between. So since this one was over 1, my vertex is also over 1 on my graph. So I can sketch. I know this parabola is going to go upwards because the directrix is kind of like a boundary line. Your graph's going to go up, and that focus should be in the middle of your parabola. So I know this graph goes up just by how the directrix is down here and the focus is above it, and the parabola needs to go between them. So my vertex I can pick out now is at 1, -1. But I just need to figure out the A value, and then I can write my equation in vertex form. So A, let's put absolute value of A is 1 over 4C. And C is the distance, let me grab another color, between your vertex and your focus, or your vertex and your directrix. They are equivalent. So the distance right there was 3 units. But it's the same distance right there, 3 units. But that's our C value. So A is equal to, or the absolute value of A is equal to 1 over 4 times C, which in our example right here is 3. So A is equal to 1/12. So to write out our equation, let's put it in vertex form. Y equals 1/12. We put our vertex in place, which is 1, -1. So x minus 1 minus 1. Because remember, when you pick out your vertex, you change that sign and keep that sign. And that's all we need. All done with that one. Let's look at one more. You're given a focus of -3, 4. So I plotted that point. Let me put it in green so it matches the first board. Our directrix is y equals -6. So I plotted that line. And I just need to find the middle of those two to find my vertex, because it should be directly in between. It's the midpoint. So if that's at -6 and that's at +4, there are 10 units in between. So halfway there would be 5 units. So I can either count up 5 or I can count down 5. I think I'm going to count down. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units down, and then that should be the same. So that's my vertex. I know my parabola goes up. Again, that's like a boundary line. Your parabola will not cross that line. So we know it'll go up, away from that line. My vertex is at -3, -1. So I can start to write my equation, but I really need the A value to know how wide or narrow it is. So let's see, I'm trying to stay color coordinated here. So the absolute value of A is 1/4C, and C is the distance between the vertex and the focus, which was 5. We've already talked about that distance. And same down here, it was still 5 right there and 5 right there. So C was 5. So let's put that in our little formula here. So 1/4 times 5. So this one would be very wide, because 1/20 is very wide, not narrow. So y equals 1/20. We put our vertex in, which was -3, -1. So write x plus 3 minus 1.